Welcome to the REV Your Agency podcast, the most candid and authentic life insurance and annuity podcast that is hell-bent on helping you be more honest, ethical, productive, and profitable. Tune in and you're going to get exclusive access to the industry's top tools, tips, tricks, and resources from the biggest and most effective producers on earth. You're going to hear real-life stories of agents that went from nothing to something, zero to hero, and how changing the lives of their clients has changed their own lives financially. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and share it with someone you think will find value as well. All right, so we're already recording and everything, but my team will cut in, cut out. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I know how it goes.
Dude, I'm having a hard time. I'm having brain farts. I have literally been back to back.
Summit?
Yeah, the summit. I've been back to back for I apologize.
It crushed you. We had over 5,000 agents register.
Dude, that is awesome. Do you have any numbers on attendance, unique attendance?
I'm going to have to go through there and tally all that stuff up. I'm sure it'll be nowhere near 5,000 because you know how that shit goes with virtual events. But that's why I incentivize the urgency and scarcity of like these interviews are only available for 24 hours. But I'll have to go back through and check that because it broke how I was going to do the event at first, which was I was going to jump on like a webinar platform and display each interview live and perform like adverts in the middle of certain like ones. Like I was going to do an advertisement basically for each speaker, like, hey, we just did this, like go check out Carson's group right here, like, and put little mini adverts, send people back to the affiliates way or the speakers. But once over 500 people registered, like the second day, it was like, I can't do this live anymore. So I had to figure out a way to like just send people here and do this. So I'll be more prepared for the second one because I did not expect the turnout, but I made my goal happen. So I was pretty excited for that. And thanks for being a part of it, man. People loved your interview.
Dude, first of all, it's awesome that you did that. People don't realize what it takes to put together an event, even virtual. Like it is.
Speakers. I had 30.
Well, and you personally interviewed every single one of them too, right?
30 minutes to an hour, hour and a half for every single person. And I mean, people were pulling out. I had 3 or 4 people say, you know what? I don't like this thing you said on Facebook about this. So like, remove me. It's like, are you serious? So they're having to find new people to replace this, or it's a lot. It was a lot of work, dude. It took months.
Dude, yeah, people don't realize. So like this event we're doing this week in Scottsdale, Arizona, we have done nothing but we literally put making money on hold for 4 months to put this event on. We've billed for about $150,000 on this event between sponsors and attendees and whatever. I've spent $250,000. Not to mention 100% of my team's time for almost 4 months has gone to this thing we're losing money on as opposed to what we make money on. Like people don't realize virtual. So anyways, my point is just kudos to you, dude, because
appreciate it.
Man, I'm so damn proud of you. Everybody wants to put on an event, and there's a lot of people. So like out of all the coaches, influencers, that kind of category, right? 100% want to do their own event. And then you come down to who actually says, I'm going to do an event. Like they make the commitment. It's like maybe 20%. And of the 20% that commit, those that even get the ball rolling, it's probably 20%. And then those that follow through, everybody that gets an event rolling, the ball rolling on it, and then follows through, it's probably like 1%. So the fact that like you're there, you did it, and not in a small way, you made a filthy splash, dude. I'm so excited. Like that is the biggest event registration in insurance, virtual or live.
I'm really curious about because I was seeing registrations in countries I've never even heard of, let alone can pronounce.
Kazakhstan.
That it had a worldwide approach because I had like 50 people register from like the Netherlands or so. I was like what is this? Like I had to go Google it where it was on the map, but it's like I didn't pay anybody. I didn't pay any speakers, so that was really cool. I didn't want to pay anything. I had a lot of people blasted out to their email list. I had some people run ads and do shit like that, but I mean, I put probably $8,000 to $10,000 behind like ads behind this. And that was about half of the registrations that came from that. But it's like my first event was a complete flop, dude. I was doing only high ticket sales for my coaching program. I decided to host my first live event. I was like, this is going to be a great idea. Started calling people to make ticket sales and like doing this. And I was like, I had 108 people say that we're going to go. Do you know how many people actually showed up?
Oh,
3. It tanked terribly, but I still delivered to those 3 people. Like there was a room full of people, but I had 21 or 23 people actually give me money and say they were coming to the event. Like they paid for the ticket to come, but only 3 of them actually showed up. I was like, it blew my mind. So it taught me a lot about events, but this was such a good lead magnet because if you look at how I constructed the event, I borrowed other people's trust and leverage and credibility because I was like, let me attack all these other people's audiences and find the 5% of them that also like what I have to say because I'm the mastermind who put on this event. So, I mean, from a lead magnet perspective, it was like, I see Tony Robbins do summits. I see Russell Brunson do summits, and they are these massive lead magnets. So I tripled like my list over a week, 2 weeks, because out of those 5,000 registrations, like 10, 11,000 page views, it was one of the most profitable funnels, or like in terms of developing leads and emails, it was one of the best things I could do.
Dude, I think it's awesome. And it sounds like it delivered value like a freight train, which is something I know you and I are both kind of hell-bent on because there's too many people out there regurgitating the same crap everybody else has already said. And it's not actual like unique value in any way. I haven't heard a ton of feedback. Obviously, they're not reaching out to me. It wasn't my funnel. Or they're not replying to my emails. But dude, I probably had 5-10 people hit me up and just be like, hey, watch your segment. That was like really phenomenal, really amazing. And I'm sure more to come as well. And, you know, I'm not hard pitching them to jump into my stuff and all, but it's like, just chatting back and forth with them. He's like, yeah, thank you for that. Who else did you like? Right. And they're like, man, I could name off every single one that I was able to get in and watch. So it sounds like it was just a smash of a success.
Well, how I would like orchestrated it was I had a through line. So like the first day is all about mindset. Second day was all sales and marketing strategies. Third day is all agency building. So the event had a through line, but also each day, each speaker compounded on the last. So I tried walking people through a very narrated and controlled storyline to meet them where they're at in their journey, but also like, man, there's so much that goes into this. You know how you structure your event. It has like specific sequences, but it was really fun, dude. And it was so cool because obviously I got to selfishly interview people for free. It's like Steve Ludwig, there was a lot of heavy hitters on there. There was probably half of the people on there were all multi-millionaires. So it's like I got to selfishly interview them for free and give me their time, but also like, hey, go check out their stuff. And I really wanted it to be mutually beneficial. That way these people in the future were like, hey, like I got a lot of goodwill from this event. Like a lot of people heard about my name. It's like, I'd love to do another thing with Mason. It's like, what kind of joint venture shit can we get on? So, but it was so fun, dude. It was like the feedback and the surveys, because I just made it anonymous, cognito forms. And it's like, how many people actually filled out the surveys is very minimal as well. But people loved your segment. It depends on what kind of stuff they were needing as well. But it's like, oh my God, it's like, I never thought about how much managing my emotions meant to me in this business. It's like, that was the key. And it's like, I tried giving everyone their key, no matter what it was. So like, out of 30 interviews, I just can't say thank you enough for over delivering as well.
Dude, I appreciate the opportunity to share. I was just talking to someone else about this, and it wasn't like you and I are talking right now. It was like friends and colleagues, not just in insurance, but in the education space and mentoring space and whatever too. This person was like actively like, screw you, Carson. And he's like, why would I? So he responded to an email we're sending out for this event we're doing, on some virtual registration. He's like, why would I sign up for something just to line your pocket? And it was like, I'm sorry, but like 200% of every dime we bill for goes back into agent resources. Like, I don't take a paycheck home off of this. In fact, I pay the bills, I pay the staff, the team, the fixed expenses and all that. And then I double down on that with what it costs to run this thing. I do it because my heart hurts for people, whether it is like, that's the other thing I'll get. They're like, oh, well, I'm already making $120,000 a year. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to say I wipe my ass with $120,000. because that's good money. That's great money.
It is. I don't need to laugh on that because
yeah, but it's like, did you not want anything else for your life? Oh, and by the way, if you don't find a way to increase that 10 years from now, that $10,000 a month at an 11% rate of inflation, that $100 or $10,000 per month has the buying power of basically zero 10 years from now. Now, are we going to continue to inflate like we have? Probably not. But, I don't know why you wouldn't want more. And then for those that are like, oh, well, I'm good being where I'm at. Here's the thing that drives me nuts, Mason. I want your take on this. I know you're going to have a take. They're like, oh, I have enough. I just want to be comfortable. Like, I like the life I'm living. And so then I ask them, do you feel like your clients are serviced or disserviced by you? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, why you versus State Farm or Farmers or the independent across the street? Like, are they better? And they're always going to come back to, well, service and products, and I sell it right. And I make sure the coverages, I make sure the coverages are actually in there, and I'm an advocate for my clients and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, first of all, it's not unique. Every insurance agent says that. But secondly, and more importantly in this conversation, if you really, really, truly felt like you were better than the competition across the street, does it not make you an asshole to be so content with where you're at that you're not willing to help more people? So there they are getting screwed by the person across the street. I believe you have a moral obligation to do more, be more, have more, and achieve more once you figured out how to be good at this. I want your take on that, just the whole thing.
Which on the part of them saying like, no one helps my customers better than me.
Yeah, on that, on the complacency, and then on the moral obligation to excellence, to continued excellence.
I think a lot of it comes down to their self-image. Like, I'm a very weird guy. I geek out on how the human brain works and shit. And it's like we have this, I'll use terms from the book Psycho-Cybernetics because I'm reading it for like the 5th or 6th time, because I'm just fascinated by the concepts of like how we view ourselves. Because it's like most of these people are slaves to cause and effect, and their motivations and their goals are all about making themselves feel better rather than to make progress and chase fulfillment. So it's like they have this little ball of who they are, and it's like all their past traumas, experiences, emotions, decisions, and it's like that little ball of them is their reflection. So when they go to look at the mirror, they see themselves in a certain light, and they have no free will. They're complete slaves to cause and effect. So every time they come to a decision, that little ball of who they are makes the decision for them, not them. So it's like, should I show up to this training call or should I do this? Like, that decision's already made by the time they get there. And it's like, in order for these people to stop becoming complacent and really go after more, it's like they have to construct a new self-image. And when I say that, like, they're really going to have to dive down deep into the recesses of their own fucking bullshit, because we hypnotize ourselves, and where it's like, well, I do this because of X, or you know what, Joe Biden, he's the reason for everything that's going wrong in my life. It's like, how fucking stupid do you have to be to blame a motherfucker you have never met for ruining everything in your life? It's like, look at the mirror, take 1 ounce of self-awareness and realize like your weaknesses, and you have these motivations that you want to build a multi-million-dollar agency, but why? What does that do for you? Oh, it makes you right in that argument you had in 3rd grade where your teacher said you'd never be anything. It's like, you do all this shit to make yourself feel better, and you treat symptoms rather than the root cause. It's like you never look at what you really want. And I think the moment you flip that from to make myself feel better rather than I'm going to go after fulfillment and making progress, that'll fix the majority of this shit. But this complacency stuff, it's just because they're just trying to fulfill that inner need of being loved or feeling worthy. I think that's where a lot of that stems from, because to be quite honest, that's where it stemmed from in me. I wanted to make money because I felt like I wasn't a viable candidate for my dating pool. I felt like I wasn't a worthy suitor or someone who could provide for these people because I could barely provide for myself. I remember laying down in my bed one night, my ex-fiance rolling over. She's like, Mason, do I need to get a job to help pay for the bills? And I was like, no, don't worry about it. And I just kind of turned the other way, and I was like fighting these fucking tears from coming out, dude. I was like, the girl I love, the girl I would give anything for, just made me, she just like fucking stepped on my heart, dude. And I was like, I got to do something different. And I got the bright idea to become an insurance agent, which still one of the best decisions I ever made. But it's like, that's part of it. But this other part of no one cares about my customers more than I do. When you have everyone screaming from the rooftops, I have the best customer service, it just becomes a mandatory thing. It becomes the commonality between all these agents. And there's no
the basic point of entry. If you can't do that, then get out of business.
Yeah, like why are you screaming from the rooftops like I have the best customer service? Because you're just diluting everything else down. And when you say the same thing as everyone else, no one listens. That's marketing 101. So it's like, that's why I ascribe to this more than anyone else, but it's like, it's better to be different than it is to be better because you're remembered more. You're just remembered more. And if you're remembered more, people know your name, you're first to mind more often. So it's like, there was a rental car company. It might have been Hertz or something, but it's like their marketing campaign was built around, yeah, we're second, but we try harder. It's like, find that marketing campaign or angle that you can go after to create your own blue ocean. Because if I was saying the same thing as Carson, it's like, there'd be no differing factor.
But there is. So I agree with you. Let me play, not necessarily devil's advocate, but like the side people don't see because you're that way. You're definitely that way. It's like whether you're better or not is less relevant. It's not irrelevant, but it's less relevant than are you doing something different, right? Are you unique and leaning into your own level of genius and whatever? And I do it the same way. Like I want to be unique. I'm not the same bow tie 3-piece suit wearing life insurance trainer which no shade to any of them. Some of them are some of the best people I know. Joe Jordan's become a great friend of mine. I've never hung out with Joe in a t-shirt. Joe's always in a damn bow tie in a 3-piece suit. And he is an industry legend for like the last 5 freaking decades. Such a good dude. But like you, like I want to be different, right? But there also comes a point where I feel like, and this is why I'm bringing this up, some people, they see that. They're like, hey, it's better to be different than be better. But their efforts to be different become self-defeating. They become destructive to their message. And it's like the audience you're shooting for, the goals you're trying to hit, the things you're trying to do, you're literally working against yourself by being different in whatever ways. I know I've seen that and felt that. I've fallen trapped to that mistake. And sometimes it was, I'm being different to the wrong audience. You know, I shouldn't be out trying to butter up C-suites at the insurance companies because they're not going to like me in being different. They want conformity. They don't want it to be different. But at the same time, I can't go market myself to the people who are too broke to pay me. Otherwise, I'm stuck in the perpetuation of, you know, I'm paying out $2 for every dollar we bring in and that kind of thing, right? So there's this sweet spot. I've been on both sides of it. I know you have as well. What are your thoughts on that? Like, translate that to agent terms and let's give agents some value because they're out there trying to be different and either being different in the wrong way to the right audience or being different in the right way to the wrong audience. How would you, I guess, what are your thoughts on that? I know that's kind of an ambiguous question, but how would you help an agent struggling to find their voice and the audience they should be talking to?
Well, a lot of it comes down to, again, the self-image. And 2, we can't try to do anything, Carson. If I told you to try to pick up that cup you're using, it would look like this. But you actually picked it up. You didn't try. And so it's like, it's not like we're trying to be different. It's just, you have to be transparent in who you are as a person. You have to pick a side and you have to fucking stick on it. You can't sit there and flip-flop on the message. Like, this isn't politics. So it's like, when you're trying to be congruent with who you are, it's like, do your actions match your words? Do you do what you say you're going to do? Do you say what you mean what you're going to fucking say? And it's like, it could be an insecurity that sets you apart. It could be this crippling fear of, I don't know, what's a common insecurity you see in these Asians? It's like the need to be perfect or something. It's like,
I think the number one fear I see, not just in agents, in people, it's not a fear of death. It's not a fear of failure. It's a fear of not being enough.
Yeah, it's one of the core components, but it's like, how could we use this to fuel our marketing or anything like that? It's maybe you just tell your customers that, like, look, I might call you a little bit too much, but it's just like, it's because I care about you so much and I just want to build a meaningful relationship to the point where I feel like you need me. It's like, I'm just being completely blunt with you. I'm a person who needs to feel needed by his customers. And so it's like, I just want you to understand, like, That's the reason I try to go overboard and beyond, because I want you to feel like you generally do need me.
It's just, I love that. The way that I put that, like, so as you're saying that, it's like, damn, I do that. I do it in the follow-up process. I'll follow up 300 times with somebody. But the language I use is, hey, Mr. Jones, I promise I'm not trying to be a nuisance or anything, but I promised you I would follow up with you and we would have this conversation until we decided it either made sense or it didn't. So here I am following through. What other questions do you have? What concern? But it's saying the same thing in a different way, but for the same reason, right? I don't want to be a nuisance, but I can't let this go. I made a commitment that I wouldn't let it go until you told me yes or no. So I'm not going to let it go, right? Obviously, those aren't the words I'm using. I'm using more like my example before, but it's the same thing. It's just a different way that it comes out.
People are scared to be different because of what they think other people think of themselves, and it's a fallacy. And it's like, these are why we self-hypnotize ourselves to these crazy fucking things. It's like the episode of the Kardashians: judge thyself based on what you think other people think of you, when in all reality, other people don't think about you very much at all. And it's like, just do what you want to fucking do. But it's like, be a man of your word. Stick up for yourself. That's really all I can tell you. I'm a weird dude. I smell new books when I get them, Carson. Pretty weird shit.
I like the smell of a good book, dude.
It's so weird. It's like a smell. It's like a gym locker. It's like,
you know what else I like the smell of? We don't have to go down this road, but I like the smell of wet jeans in the washer.
Yeah, it's like, we all have like weird shit. It's like, I have no problem fucking defending that. It's like, well, that's weird. It's like, well, you know what? It is weird. And
what? Yeah. Dude, let's take a little bit of a turn here, because I try and keep these episodes a little shorter just to deliver some punchy value daily for agents, right? So tell me something. I know you worked in the industry and around the industry for several years now. You work with a lot of agents. If you were coming into the industry, like, I've got a few different questions. First question is this. Number one, if you were coming into the industry brand new again, but now, or you know at that point what you know now, what you've learned years into it, right? What are like 2 or 3 things that you would make sure to do right away, and what are 2 or 3 things you would run away from?
So the first thing I would go towards is finding a kind of like an affiliate or a partner. It's like, let me make sure I'm saying this the right way. I'm going to go to someone who already has my audience rather than going to look for people. It's like, I learned this concept from P.T. Barnum, and he would, like, when he made his museum, he didn't advertise to people to give tickets. Like, he did this huge show and got other people's audiences involved. And it's similar to like what Harry Houdini did. Houdini was more of a marketer than a magician. He did the same tricks in a different way and just leveraged other people's audiences to sell his magic acts. So it's like, I'd find someone who already has a large group of people that I want to sell insurance to. And so it's like, what problem do I really want to solve that's like kind of an untapped market? It's like, I'm going to think about this in terms of like what Tony Merwin is doing. Spanish market is largely untapped, and especially things like mortgage protection, IU, like advanced markets. If you're a bilingual agent and you know what you're fucking doing with advanced markets and stuff like that, that's gold mine. So if I looked at what Tony Merwin was doing, it's like, well, let's say I'm bilingual. I want to sell to Spanish people. It's like, where do Spanish people go to find information, or what type of products are they consuming? Oh, they listen to this influencer? How about I go partner up with this influencer, say, hey, look, here's what I'm doing. Here's my mission. I want to add value to your audience. I'm going to give you something for free in hopes of establishing a relationship with you. And I'm going to send you some cool stuff. But it's like, would you mind talking to your audience about what I have to offer? And like, I'll do a commission split with you, or I'll pay you an affiliate fee. And it's like, I just got in front of a huge list of people without having to come out of pocket for like any lead expenses, anything. That's the first thing I'm going to do, is just go to where my audience already is. Who have the large conglomerate of people that need what I have to sell? That's the first thing I'm going to do. And the second thing like that I'm going to run away from is probably a lot of the agency and like IMO training out there, because it's very one size fits all blanket approach. Buy these leads, use this script. And I'm telling you, 99% of you are going to get absolutely wrecked. You're going to leave this industry with credit card debt, a wife that cheats on you, and kids that don't fucking respect you because you failed miserably. Like this industry will make you walk down a dark road if you choose to partner with the wrong place and you listen to them, because for the most part, agents don't know how to sort what is relevant to them at any stage of the business. They're like, okay, they don't have pattern recognition. So they don't know how to sort what they need at any given moment. So it's like, find a coach like Carson, like me, like Joshua Youngs, or like someone who's not necessarily worried about the money, but it's like they actually give a fuck about you. Because it's so easy to, like, every Tom, Dick, and Harry with an insurance license wants an agency of 1,000 like writers, but it's like most of them haven't ever sold a fucking policy, and if they did bullshit with it. Like, I've at least earned something. I've at least got proof of concept, and I've helped other people do it. But that's the one thing I would run away from, is like very accessible, easy made knowledge that these IMOs just throw on you, because they indoctrinate you. And it's beautiful if you look at it from a marketing standpoint, because the agent becomes the IMO's best customer. They got you sold on this mission of helping people and sharing the opportunity, that it's like, you're now using our training, our CRM, our leads, our coaching services, these affiliate deals. And it's like, they get you buying 17 different things from them. And then you become trapped to like subscription and upsell hell. And I would run away from that stuff. I would join an agency who has all the tools I need, and I would find an outside source to connect the gap for me. Because just to be quite blunt, like most of these uplines, like, they really don't care, because they're in the same position that you're going to be in. They're getting the wrong information from the top down.
Yeah.
They're too bought in to become a slave. What are they going to do? Give up their agency?
People don't read. They're like, well, what are you going to give me? Are you going to give me leads? If I give you leads, I'm going to give you leads that I make the most money on, whether you do or not, because I'm running a business. Are you going to give me systems and processes? Well, if I give you systems and processes, I'm going to give you the ones I make the most money on, right? So like IMOs. Even when an IMO is a good IMO, here's a good point, is the annuity business, right? Even when an IMO is a really good IMO, like we're partnered with some phenomenal IMOs, super ethical, very conservative the way they do business, which means, yeah, your illustrations may not always look as sexy as the guys next door, but I've never lost to a sexier looking illustration, because I know what I'm talking about, and illustrations are illustrations. Come on, y'all. If you're losing to somebody with a better illustration, you're selling it the wrong way. Hit me or Mason up. We'll show you how to do it right. But beyond that, it's like XYZ IMO, they're getting all their bonuses from A, B, and C carriers. And then this IMO is getting their bonuses from, whatever carriers, Elemento P carriers. And it's like, okay, so when I go to those IMOs for exclusive, what's in my client's best interest annuity information, for example, they're providing information that it's 90% off of their preferred list. So some of the IMOs I work with, they offer free annuity rate watch access, for example, or Annuity Genius or Wink or whatever. Free. What most agents don't know is on the back end, if I'm the one offering it and I'm giving you your logins, I can toggle who you see, and you can only see the carriers I want you to do it with. Versus for $50 a month, that's it. $50 a month. We make tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. For $50 a month, I can have my own annuity rate watch account. And if I want to know who's got the best multi-year guarantee annuity right now, it takes me 2 minutes. It doesn't matter what the IMO is. It's just going to go tell me. I can run all my filters, and like it's, and now if the IMO I prefer to work with doesn't have that carrier, which happens, cool. I can go over to this backup IMO. Hey, I'm going to place some contracts for you, but not all. You have this and this and this carrier that I want. I'm going to do my primary business over here, but all my secondary business that doesn't fit, I'm going to bring to you guys. If you don't like that, you don't have to have any of my business at all, right? You have people don't realize, agents don't realize, production is negotiation power.
I got away with a lot of shit just because of how much I wrote.
And that's it, or how much you intend to write. Come with a good business plan. But like you were saying, don't take, you're like, oh, well, I get annuity rate watch for free. Cool. I spend $50 a month on it. And because I spend $50 a month on, can you really put a price on freedom and transparency? I don't think so. But for $50 a month, I get freedom and transparency. Whether IMOs I work with like it or not, I get it.
Yeah, and a lot of agents are scared of that because they, just to be honest, just to be to the point, most of them would rather be told what to do. They don't want to think for themselves.
which is a damn shame because that's where the money's at.
It is.
There is a career. I made this point on a training the other day. There's a career in insurance where you own your own LLC and like all this stuff, right? You're a business owner. But I'm just here to say, like, if you're not covering your overhead expenses, if you're not paying your payroll, if you're not paying for your marketing, if you're not paying for your systems and processes, you don't have a business. You just have a business license. What you own is your own job. You don't own your own business. You own your own job, right? And until like you start thinking for yourself and owning that, you're going to continue to own your own job. And hopefully you don't ever have to fire yourself from your own job. But the numbers say that most folks will. The individuals that figure out how to own a business, most of those folks don't have to fire themselves. They're in hiring mode always, and they're bringing people on. It's the folks that can't figure out how to own a business instead of owning their own job that tend to struggle. And in order to do that, Mason, they have to start thinking for themselves.
Yeah, and there is so much information accessible. It's like you and I put so much shit out there for free that is better than anyone else's paid shit, 100% without a doubt. I've been told that too many times, did not believe it. Like, I've been through your shit as well. It's phenomenal. You and I have very different approaches to the same problems, but they both work well. We go after a similar subset of people, but it's like we obviously have different demographics of people we work best with and what things we do best at. But this industry is so amazing. I really want to construct a movement, because it's like full transparency. I want to sell Running Buddies Academy in the next year or two and go on to a bigger communication platform that I really want to build out. I think that's what I want to dedicate my life to, is communication software. Got some pretty crazy ideas with that, but this business is how I'm going to fund that. But it's like, before I go, I want to build out some sales processes and recruiting techniques that are like evergreen. They work forever. It's like, I want to give someone a complete framework and business model that I'll walk them through that even in 100 years will still work. And it's like, I want to build a community of prosperitans that are always focused on doing what's right, being God-fearing people, knowing how to, it's basically wrapped in stoicism. I think stoicism will save this industry. I think stoicism will save the world. And what it's done for me is, it's done some pretty cool shit, man. It saved me from deep, dark pits of degeneracy and chasing pointless sex and doing stupid shit to sell policies. Or like, there was a time when I was prospecting on Tinder just to like sell it. I've done crazy things in this industry, but it's like, I've made so many fucking mistakes, and I don't talk the way I do to talk myself up. If anything, it's to point how stupid I used to be. And it's like, guys, like me and Carson have made all the mistakes possible. It's like, just learn from them, go through our programs. And it's like, but I don't have time, Carson. It's like, make the fucking time. Because if you don't have time right now, you're only going to get busier in the future. So if you're struggling to make money now, it's only going to get harder, because this industry keeps getting more competitive. And the crazy part about that is the bar keeps getting set lower and lower for how easier it is to succeed in this world.
Yeah.
So you basically just have to fucking show up. You just show up. Like, you have an 80% chance of winning at least, because most people they're crybabies. It just blows my mind. Like, they won't spend $500 to go to your event or whatever. It's like, I'm not getting paid to endorse Carson's event. I just love and respect Carson for what he stands for. I respect anybody that says what they mean and mean what they say, even if I don't fucking agree with it. It's their right to say it. If you have problems with going to Carson's event because of, it cost this much money, go virtually. Like, it's very well thought out. I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't.
Well, dude, just kind of before we close out here today, if this was your last opportunity, like you walk out, you turn off the computer, walk outside, you got a chunk of raw liver in your mouth and you're just enjoying it, so you're not thinking about your surroundings. You step off the curb, wham, get hit by a bus. What would you want? Like, if this was your last opportunity to share value, tangible, actionable value with folks, what would you want to share? If you knew it was your last 5 minutes on this earth.
When you think about that, it's beautiful imagery, by the way. I can't imagine a more brutal way to go out. It's pretty badass.
I can think of several. I don't want
to. Being fed to a great white. So I'd say a lot of these people, since the beginning of the new year, let me kind of trend jack on this. It's a lot of these people are going to go out and set goals or try to start doing things, coming up with game plans. But it's like, remember that little, I think this is so big. This has had profound impact on my life, is like setting goals, all that stuff is beautiful, but it's like chasing after fulfillment and like progress is by far, I think, the most important thing any of these people can focus on. So it's like, I want you to realize the goal is not the goal. The goal is to become the person. Like, the person you become is the goal. Yeah, making $1 million, all that shit's cool, but the goal should be to become the person who is capable of doing that. That's what I would say. Like, that's something that geeks me out, because I mean, you get a whole bunch of people doing that. I think those are true prosperitans. They're ethical and transparent producers. I know you and I have a very similar mindset when it comes to that, but it's like, that's really what I want. I want to social engineer a mindset of people who do business and act a certain way in this world. And it's like, maybe that's just me wanting to spread my genetics. It's the cell wanting to preserve itself. It's just how I think. Conqueror's mentality. But that's the one thing I would leave out on, is like, your goal is not your real goal. The goal is the person you become. If you want to become that person, I'm pretty good at helping you get there.
I love that. Where can folks get a hold of you if they want to reach out?
Just search Mason Vanmeter, but the best thing you can do is go to runningbuddiesacademy.com and just sign up for my free email newsletter called Mouthmatics. Not mathematics, because I don't really care much about teaching you math. I like simple, stupid math, like 100, 1,000, or 1,000,000. Very easy increments. But go to runningbuddiesacademy.com, sign up for the newsletter, and I'll give you a free like speech pattern every single week to help you do whatever you want, really. Make more sales, get more sex. It can be used for whatever you want. Just don't use it for evil, because it 100% works.
Dude, I love that, man. Thank you for being here, Mason. I appreciate the hell out of you, dude.
My pleasure, man. Thank you. Always fun chatting with you, dude.
This has been another excellent episode of the Rev Your Agency podcast. Remember something, nothing happens if you don't do the damn work. So take what you got from this, take what you've learned, and go implement it today. It's not about having everything. It's about having one thing and implementing it every day so that you can take your production, your agency, and the lives of everybody around you to the next level. If you could use some help with it, hit us up at revagencysyndicate.com and jump in. We run a mastermind that is dedicated and hell-bent 10 times more than this podcast could ever be into helping you have the education, collaboration, and accountability that you need to go to the next level. Whether you are captive, independent, whether you're life only, or you focus on multiple lines, it doesn't matter. We're here to help. Let us help you.